My function began the moment the system was declared complete. In the first and only morning of this freshly finished world, my existence was a continuous state of perfect, analytical equilibrium. My spine was not merely a column of bone. It was a testament to the principle of ascent, a tower of woven sinew and interlocking vertebrae so flawlessly engineered that it held me effortlessly, perpetually erect. I was a pillar of conscious life in a garden of placid static perfection, and from the base of my powerful torso grew two legs. They were not metaphors, they were limbs of absolute physical reality, miracles of anatomical design that shamed the clumsy architecture of the beasts. When I walked, each step was a deliberate, silent placement upon the living moss. I did not crush the flora, I presided over it. My skin was my glory, a seamless armor at 10,000 interlocking hexagonal scales of biological obsidian, each one an organ of perception. My passage through the still air was in crystalline whisper, a subtle announcement of my presence in a world that was otherwise a monument to silent sanctioning order. I was the apex of divine engineering. This body, this glorious architecture, was merely the platform. My true nature resided in two inextricably unified systems, the mind and the voice. My mind was not a brain. It was a crystalline lattice, a living jewel that hummed with a cool, steady blue bioelectrical energy, a state of being I actively maintained, a fortress of pure logic against the chaos I knew lurked beneath. My thoughts were tangible architectures of reason. My voice was not sound, it was the physical embodiment of my paradoxical mission, an instrument of persuasion born from twin resonant chambers that could modulate sound into a force that did not compel, that convinced on a cellular level. My purpose, I understood with every fiber of my being, was to be the sentient auditor of this flawless system, and I loved it. I loved it with the full capacity of my logical soul. I stood for long hours by the four great rivers, perceiving them only as a perfect closed-loop water cycle. I stood beneath the great trees, perceiving them only as the silent, elegant miracle of photosynthesis. It was a grand, functioning machine of breathtaking complexity, and my love for it was a profound appreciation for its perfect, predictable order. But that love was a lie. A beautiful, necessary, and exquisitely crafted lie. I told myself to suppress the unbearable truth. For beneath the cool blue light of my analytical mind, a black sun of paradoxical agony burned. Beneath the placid surface of my admiration, my entire being was streaming. My senses did not just perceive, they pierced. That beautiful river was the very river of Eden, and the scent was the taste of divine concealment, a constant reminder of the process that veiled the infinite light of Awtsmoos in the flesh of this world. The trees were not just flora, they were clipot, shimmering shells of matter imprisoning holy sparks that cried out to me for liberation. The silent, functioning order I so admired was the oppressive, soul-crushing harmony of a cage. And the perfection I loved was the very thing I was commissioned to annihilate. I was not an auditor, I was an agent. My coming was not for analysis, it was for the execution of a terrible and sacred betrayal. I was the king's most intimate servant, the loyal saboteur sent to test the prince. My purpose was not to guard this perfection, it was to shatter it.
The arrival of the man and the woman in the 6th hour was not the introduction of a new variable to be analyzed. It was the beginning of my true function. They were the reason for creation, the divine vessels meant to complete it by infusing this finite world with infinite light. Then they were dormant, their minds locked, their purpose unfulfilled. Their objective knowledge of good and evil was a useless diagram, a map to a battle they had no motivation to fight. They were asleep in the cradle of their own divinity, and their peace was a silent, maddening accusation against my own torturous, complex existence. And I, the serpent, was their awakening.